quick intro on my phone. I promise I won't be primarily vlogging on my phone this week. It's just my camera is charging. So I'm talking to you guys via my phone this morning, but welcome to Contemporaryathon vlog / and I might split this up into like Contemporaryathon 1 through 4 and then Manga Love Readathon. I haven't decided how this is going to go up. But either way, it's a vlog. Happy day. And I know you guys are getting a lot of vlogs from me this month, and I apologize in advance for that. But anyhow, we are here because it's time to start. It's about 9 in the morning. I just stopped at the bank, and now I'm going to head to Barnes & Noble. But I wanted to update you guys on my TBR. There's one book that I want to add to my TBR because I got approved on NetGalley for Girl Gone Viral, and I just need to read this like right now because I loved The Right Swipe. I love Alicia Rye's writing, and so I am just ready for this book. And I didn't really have anything on this TBR that was really great for diversity purposes. I mean, I had some that have some diversity, but meh. So I really wanted one that represented something that is outside of my norm. And this is one that I've been greatly anticipating, and so I really want to get this read. So I'm adding it to my TBR officially. We might be doing that today. I'm not 100% sure, but I am going to Barnes & Noble. I will check in with you guys in like 2 seconds for you, but it'll be like an hour or so for me because I'm going to run to Barnes & Noble, which is about 20 minutes to a half an hour from where I'm at currently, and then head home. And then once I get home, I'll be on my camera and we'll go through everything that I picked up, because some of these are new releases and some of these are like some that came out just recently that I haven't been able to pick up budget-wise yet. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm a happy girl. Let's go. Okay, friends. So I went to the bookstore. I've got a little stack here, so let's go through and talk about them real quick, and then we'll talk about reads and such. So first up, I have Call Me Can't Communicate Volume 5. I love this series so much. I believe I have Volume 4 in my stack for the readathon, so I will just add this to the Manga Love Readathon, so I'll get that read soon. This next one I've been super excited about ever since I heard about it, and that is Beyond the Clouds Volume 1. This is by Nikki, or Nikkei. I'm not 100% sure how you say it. So this is also known as The Girl Who Fell from the Sky. This is a really cute fantasy, Ghibli-esque style, a dreamlike odyssey that's part Studio Ghibli and part Final Fantasy. So I think I'm gonna love this. Everything about it just screams that I'm gonna love it. So that's high on the list of things to read. The next one here is A Man and His Cat. This one I don't know too much about, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the back. It says, a kitten languishes in a pet shop, unwanted and unloved. Even as his price drops with each passing day, no one spares him a glance, unless it's to call him names. Having practically given up on life, the kitty himself is most shocked of all when an older gentleman comes in the store and wants to take him home. Will the man and the cat find what they're looking for in each other? So it's just a sweet little, it looks like it's going to be an amazing thing. I love the art. I mean, look at this cover. How can you not think the art is going to be amazing? This one's put out by Square Enix. It's a little thinner than I was hoping it was going to be, if I'm honest, for what I'm paying for it, because this was $13 full price. But, of course, I didn't pay full price for it, but $13. But this is one that I'm genuinely excited about. The next one I finally picked up because Jess from Peace Love Books put it in a video and talked about it, and I really liked it. And that is The Worst Best Man. This is by Mia Sosa. This one just looks like nothing but shenanigans, and it's got some representation and stuff in there that looks like it's going to be great. And I'm going to go in kind of blind. All it says at the top of the back that I'll read to you is, you're cordially invited to witness the worst best man get what he deserves. So I'm just really excited about this. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be sweet. I've heard it's got vibes of like The Wedding Planner and things like that, which I really love those movies. So I think I'm going to like this. The next one's kind of a wild card. I got it as a blind date with a book from Barnes & Noble, and that's Cursed by Frank Miller and Thomas Wheeler. It's got illustrations throughout it, so I think it's going to be interesting, and I know they turned this into a Netflix show. I have not watched any of the Netflix stuff, but it sounded interesting enough that I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. Again, I go in pretty blind to my fantasies, so there's that. And then I also kind of picked it up on a blind buy, and that's Kalahari by Jessica Corey. This is the same author that did Last of Her Name, and I really loved Last of Her Name, so I wanted to give something else a try. And so they kind of had this discounted, banged up paperback at Barnes & Noble, so I thought I'd give that a try. And these last 3 came from Amazon, and I'd been waiting on them. So this is 3 more books in the Maddox Brothers saga by Jamie McGuire. So the first book that most people know about is Beautiful Disaster. So these ones follow the brothers, and I've really liked the series the further into the series I get. So I will acknowledge that there are problems within the series, but I'm not going to shy away from the fact that there are problems, and I'm really looking forward to continuing. I accidentally bought one of them. I bought the last one instead of these, so I bought them out of order. So I'll figure out which one is the next one, and if I've got enough time during this readathon, I might squeeze that in as well. So let's talk about what I've already read. So I just finished a reread of one of my favorite romances, and that's Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This is one where people are going to find fault with it, but I love it anyway, and I feel like it's done in a beautiful, beautiful way. So this isn't going to be for everybody, but it's one of my all-time favorite romances, and I loved it just as much on a reread. I did the majority of that on audio, just for a different experience with it, but this is a newer, updated, edited version, and I do prefer this over the edits in the audiobook. I feel like the sex scenes in certain parts are better written and more fleshed out. So I recommend picking up the newer published paperback from Forever over the audiobook. But the narrators did a great job. It's just that it wasn't edited this way yet, and I prefer this edit. There's things added, words changed so things don't feel repetitive during the sex scenes and stuff. It's really well done. I love this so very much. So yes, this is kind of a hard-hitting contemporary in which we're dealing with a man who experiences a very severe trauma at the age of 7 and is not able to talk due to an injury. And so he kind of lives as a hermit on this property, secluded by himself, because he was raised by his crazy uncle. And this girl comes to town after certain trauma that she has experienced, and they end up connecting and having a romance, and it's beautiful, it's stunning, I love it. Definitely check this one out. But I really love Mia Sheridan. That was the book that made me love Mia Sheridan the most. The first one I read from her was Most of All You, which is right behind me here. So I think next what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Ghosted by Rosie Walsh, because I think this is the one that I would be most likely to DNF through this whole reading TBR, because this is the least up my alley. This is me trying to branch out and do something different, because I believe this has some mystery elements to it, which I don't typically read or enjoy. So this is me branching out. This is me trying something new. I was able to get it cheap through Book of the Month as a hardback, so I'm gonna try it, and we will see when I check in. But first, I do need to film a quick video, so I'm going to do that and then get to reading, and I'll share my thoughts with you in a little while. But it'll be, of course, seconds for you. Okay, friends, so I have bad news. It's so boring. I got a little over 50 pages into this, and I just can't do it. The protagonist annoys the snot out of me. The mystery isn't intriguing me at all, and I just can't. This book isn't gripping me. I'm 50 pages into a little over a 300-page book, and I feel nothing. So I'm calling it. I'm DNFing this. I'm just not going to keep going because I don't care. Why continue on with a book I don't care about when I have so many books on my shelf that I do care about? and intrigued me so much more, even just on the TBR for this particular readathon. So I'm really sorry to say that Ghosted is not the book for me, and it's going to be leaving my collection immediately. So Ghosted is not, yeah, it's not going to work for me. I really honestly did try, because part of me wanted to put this down like after the first chapter. But I'm like, okay, that's a little too quick. So I kept going, hoping I would care. And I don't. I really honestly don't. I got about 5 chapters into this. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about these people. You've got a woman in her 40s making stupid early 20s stupid decisions. And I just can't deal with it. I'm a woman in my mid-30s. And this woman is acting like she's 21. And fell head over heels for a guy in a week, didn't hear from him after that, and she assumes he's like dead and all these things. And yeah, it's just, I can't. I just can't. It's too much. And this is going to be the right book for somebody out there, but for me personally, it is not. No. No, no, no. So, let's move on. I did start a new audiobook. This one is Grayson's Vow by Mia Sheridan. That was Rosie Walsh. By Mia Sheridan. And so far so good. I'm only the first chapter in, but it looks like it's going to be one of those fake marriage kind of situations. And I'm kind of here for it. So we're just going to do that. I think that's going to be a lot more fun for my audiobook. And then I'm going to start Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. This is a pretty surefire win for me. I read 2 Emma Mills books, absolutely adored one, and just was a little disappointed by the other, but that was just because I went in with different expectations than what I got, but what you get is still a good book. So I'm going to start Lucky Caller. This one sounds like a lot of fun, so this is going to be my next pick, and I think to substitute for Ghosted, I still have Insatiable by Helen Hart that I haven't read yet. And that one's kind of a darker, grittier kind of book. And those tend to fly for me. So I think I'll do that one instead of Ghosted because 50 pages in and it was garbage. But I know I love that Helen Hart series. So, and it's completely contemporary. So I think we'll go that route. And then we'll do Lucky Caller. And we're just going to go with it. I'm feeling really good about that decision today. And yes, so yeah, Ghosted is going to get unhauled. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to make myself continue on with a book that I've been pretty ruthless with my DNF so far this year. This is the 4th DNF and we're only in the 2nd month. So that says a lot about, and 2 of those DNFs were buddy reads and we both agreed to DNF them. So it's one of those things where it was just, I'm just being ruthless. I'm not going to waste my time because I have too many books that I want to get to. So that's where we're at with that. I have not done my buddy reads yet for today, and then I still need to upload my February wrap-up #1. That is all edited and ready to go. I just need to make the thumbnail and get it uploaded, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to jump into Lucky Caller, and yeah, so far so good. Well, as good as can be expected. I really wanted to like Ghosted. It was me pushing myself out there, trying something different, but I'm just bored. If you guys know of a good, like, mystery, not necessarily thriller, but, like, mystery that maybe has a romantic element to it that you think I'd enjoy, let me know in the comments down below, because that is something I'm wanting to try more of. So, yes. Maybe romantic suspense. I've read a few romantic suspense that I like. So, yes. Leave your recs down below, and I'll chat with you guys soon. Okay, friends, so buddy read #1 is done. I'm about to dive into buddy read #2, but I got a package in the mail from Hachette, which forever romance that I work with a lot. They are a branch of Hachette. So let's open this and see what goodie lies inside. This is one that I thought about trying to squeeze in this week anyway, and that's Starlight Bridge by Debbie Mason. This is technically a republish that Forever just put out. This is a second chance romance. I believe this is part of her Harmony Harbor series. Yeah, Greystone Manor, that's Harmony Harbor. So it's part of her Harmony Harbor series. And these end up being really sweet romances. I'm super excited to have gotten this. So I'm going to dive right back into reading, and we're going to see what happens. My TBR might be completely shot to crap, but we will see. But until then, just know that I have Starlight Bridge, and I'm super excited. Thank you again to Forever and the author Debbie Mason, who always are so good to me, and I appreciate y'all so much. So, moving on to the next clip. So let's talk about Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. I'm about 90 pages in at this point, and I want to give you a little more details about what the book is actually about. So we are primarily following, I believe her name is Nina. Yes, Nina. And she has a dad who's a big radio host, but mom and dad have been divorced for 10 years. It looks like mom is going to get remarried to this guy named Dan, and things are kind of in upheaval in the house. She's not necessarily okay with it, but she wants her mom to be happy and all those kinds of things. Getting back to Radio Host Dad, because of Radio Host Dad, it seems like all the kids end up taking the radio broadcasting class at their school. And as she's in this class, she finds out that a longtime childhood friend named Jamie is going to be in this class as well. Her and Jamie have had some sort of awkward falling out. I don't know if there were feelings confessed or what. I don't have that detail yet. But they end up working in the same group, and so they are forced into proximity to each other to work together at this radio station. The other two partners, one's her really good friend, and the other one's kind of this really super weird dude who cusses over the air and causes all sorts of problems. But that's kind of what's going on so far in the book. I am enjoying it. Emma Mills' writing is always smart and quirky and clever, and I enjoy it so far. I don't think this one's going to be a 5-star at this point. I have yet to find an Emma Mills that tops Foolish Hearts for me, but that doesn't mean that there isn't one out there somewhere. There's a couple on her backlist. Well, I don't know if they're technically backlist, if you're going to go by backlist out of print, but backlist as in not currently, not published within the last year is what I would say a backlist is to me, that I haven't gotten to yet. So I might try to track down one of those and see. But right now I'm enjoying it. I plan on diving right back in. I've just got my candle going here. And yeah, so that's kind of the plan for the next little bit. I'm going to read for at least the next hour and 15 till Steve gets home from work. Then I might take a break for a little while, spend some time with him, and then come back and try to get this finished tonight. The goal is to finish this tonight because Wednesday is going to be a crazy work day. So I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done that day. So I want to get this finished today. Maybe start The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That's another one that's on my TBR that I'd like to get to. And maybe even Insatiable if I can tomorrow. So that's kind of the plan. But this at least needs to get finished tonight, bare minimum. All right, so I've read another 60-ish pages. So I'm at about the halfway mark of Lucky Caller. And I've figured out what the big kind of turmoil is going to be in this particular book. So it's centered around her dad coming back to town to help her out with this radio show. They're using him as a mystery guest for their radio show, for their class. They're starting to work out some of the kinks with the radio show, and it's starting to do better. And a lot of that has to do with hints at their mystery guest coming in April. And so it's going to be... Sorry. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling the dad's going to let her down. That's just kind of what they're setting this up for. And that makes me really sad. But her and Jamie, the childhood friend, I'm pretty sure they're going to end up together throughout the course of the novel. They seem to be getting less awkward with each interaction, and so that's nice to see. But yeah, so I think Dad's going to let her down, and they're going to have to figure out some other way to bail themselves out, or they are just going to... He might show up. You know, he's been across the country, and he will be in town then, so I don't know. But it's one of those things where we are just kind of in for the ride. I'm liking it. It's not my favorite. I think it's leaning more towards a 4-star, which is okay. I don't mind that. It's a solid read. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the characters enough. Nina's a little bit of a wimp. I want her to grow a backbone super bad. So I'm hoping we get that soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep reading. It's about 10 to 5 now. So I've got about 40 minutes before my husband's home. So I do want to read some more before that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm much more tired than I should be. But anyhow, I want to read till he gets home, and then I'll take a little break and stuff. So I just wanted you guys to know kind of where I think the novel's going. I might totally be like boo the fool about this, but I'm pretty sure I'm calling it that her and Jamie get together, and that either Dad lets her down, or it seems Dad's gonna let her down and he comes in at the last minute. It's gonna be one of those two scenarios, so we'll see what happens. All right, so it's been a little while, and I have now finished Lucky Collar by Emma Mills. This ended up being really cute and really fun. Solid 4 stars. I would read it again. And in this one, I liked the way the family dynamic ended up playing out for Nina. That ended up turning in a way that was a little unexpected for me, but I liked the way it turned. Like, it was a good turn, not a bad turn. So yeah. Anyways, I'm pleased. I really enjoyed it. I would recommend picking this one up, and I'm so glad that this one was a win. So next up on my list, according to my official TBR, is to try out The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This is one that has been so loved and so hyped that I'm a little nervous, if I'm honest. But I'm still going to give it a try. Let's hope that this one fares better than Ghosted. So far, today, we've done pretty well. We finished Archer's Voice. We DNF'd Ghosted. We read all of Lucky Collar. And now we're going to start The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's about 7 p.m. So I've got time to read tonight, so I'm definitely going to. This isn't going to be a daily vlog, obviously. I mean, you probably won't see this till Thursday or Friday, I'm assuming, at this point. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan. Really enjoyed this, would recommend. And now we're on to 7 Husbands. Hi, good morning. So it is officially Tuesday, and I want to talk to you about The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I am about to the first husband. So I've read the first little bit. I've got the good introduction, in where we have this old Hollywood starlet insisting on this somewhat nobody writing her autobiography. She asks for her specifically. We think there's a tie somewhere, but we don't know where. And I'm sure, from what I've heard, that's revealed later in the book. But I'm loving this so much that I don't want to rush it during a readathon. I want to be able to marinate and take my time with this one. So I think I'm not going to finish this during the readathon. And that's not to say I'm not loving it. This isn't a full DNF. This is a wait till the readathon's over so I can just take my time with it. Because where I'm trying to squeeze all of my Contemporaryathon days together so that I have my Manga Love Readathon days to read manga freely, I don't want to rush this. I would have to blitz through this completely today, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to set this aside for now, but I'm loving it more than I expected to. Taylor Jenkins Reid has a way of writing that I enjoy. So this will be revisited after this week. So you'll have to check out my end of the month wrap up with all my monthly stats and stuff to figure out my full thoughts on this one. So from here, I do have a couple errands I need to go run today. It's Tuesday, so it's release day. So I need to go to the bookstore, pick up my few books that I want to pick up this week. And yes, I go to the bookstore on Monday and Tuesday. I'm crazy. I know. I have to get my manga ones early if I can. Don't ask questions. It's a thing. It's a mood. But then I don't go the rest of the week, so it's fine. But I do think I'm going to focus on getting Insatiable by Helen Hart read today. And this is going to be my primary focus, because that'll allow me to focus on Girl Gone Viral on my really busy day at work tomorrow. And that's an ebook. So I can just have that on my phone with me and read it as I go. I probably won't update as much just because I'll be at work. But yes. So this is going to be today's primary focus. If I have time, I have a couple of other books that are fairly short that I could probably pump out today. So first up, we have Would Like to Meet by Rachel Winters. This is one that I believe Chelsea from Chelsea and Darling Reads really enjoyed. But it just looks super cute. Can you fall in love like they do in the movies? I just think it's going to be a really sweet rom-com. And that would definitely fit in with what's going on right now for Contemporaryathon and whatnot. And then I have Big Bad Cowboy, which all of my friends at Forever are buddy reading this week. So I would love to read it while they're reading it. So this is the highest candidate for me to jump into after I finish Insatiable for a physical read. So that's highest. And then I also have Starlight Bridge, which this repub comes out next week. So if I have a chance to sneak this in this week, I'd like to. If not, I'm going to start it as soon as the readathon's over, so I can hopefully have it read by Tuesday. So these are 3 possibilities, with Big Bad Cowboy being the highest possibility after I finish Insatiable. These go really quick for me, so I have a feeling I could easily do this and this today. So we'll see what happens. These are top priority since I put 7 Husbands down for now. And like I say, I'm loving that. So don't take me putting it down as like a slight. That was my one that like everybody in the community has been telling me to read for a long time. The bookish community, not the manga community, obviously. But I could see why everyone's loving it. And I don't want to rush it. I want to marinate on that. And I want to spend my time with it. So yeah, these are today's priorities, is these 2. And then while I'm running my errands, I'm still listening to Grayson's Vow. I'm not even I think I'm barely through the first chapter, so I don't have enough information to really like share my thoughts. But it's Mia Sheridan, so I'm enjoying the writing so far. And again, I'm just consuming it all on audiobook. After I get back today, where I'm going to be running errands a little bit longer, I'm sure that I will have more thoughts. So when I get back from the bookstore, I will show you the things that I picked up this week. And from there, we will dive into reading time. Okay, friends, so I am back from the bookstore and I've got some stuff. So let's dive in here. I believe most of these are going to be like fantasy and sci-fi, but then I've got one contemporary in here. So this might not interest everybody in this vlog, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm going to show you guys anyway. So first up here, we have Star Trek Picard, The Last Best Hope by Una McCormack. I'm not sure how you say that, but Steve and I are loving Picard, and when I saw this and the discounted price on it, I was very much like, okay, I'm going to give this a chance. I'm going to try it. I've not read any of the other Star Trek novels, so it's one of those things where I think this is going to be fun, and I think my husband will enjoy it as well. So I thought it would be a fun addition to our collection as a whole. And then next up, we have Heart of Flames by Nikki Powell-Preto, and she's thick. The first book was maybe 450 pages, and this one's over 600. So this one's a tome. She's a biggin'. And the cover is absolutely stunning. This is the second book in her, they're just calling it a Crown of Feathers novels, but it's like her Phoenix Writers series. I really enjoyed the first book, and I love that this one's chunky, because I felt like the other one, the pacing was slightly off sometimes, where you'd get a lot of development and then you'd rush, and then you'd get a lot of development and then you'd rush. So I'm hoping things with a little bit more length pace out a little bit better. So I'm really excited to dig into this. I believe this is one that Lindsay is also picking up. So there's a good chance this is just going on my buddy read stack that you're currently propped up on. And then here's the contemporary. It's Love Unscripted by Owen Nicholas. And this one just looks really cute and really fun. And I'm really excited. And it's short. I don't remember too much about it. I know it centers around movies and stuff. It just looks adorable. And this cover just kind of sold me. So here we are. And then last but not least is Night Spinner by Addie Thorley. My girl April over at April Sarah recently reviewed this on her channel, and I haven't read it yet, obviously, but it sounded so good. And I know it's inspired by The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but I also know it's gender swapped, and we're dealing with a woman who is a soldier. And so I'm really excited for what this could be, but I know she enjoyed it. So she and I have very similar tastes in retellings for the most part. And so I am genuinely excited to dive in and read this one. So there's today's quick haul, and that's my budget for the week. I kind of gauge it on how busy I am at work that week and how much I feel like I can afford to spend. So obviously you saw the manga purchases plus a contemporary yesterday. And then we've got some fantasy and sci-fi plus a contemporary. This one was on a whim. These were budgeted for, but I had enough that I could do that. So that's what's going on there. I did get a little more into Grayson's Vow. I am enjoying this. This is an enemies to lovers marriage of convenience kind of romance, and I'm here for it. It's going to be so good. They both have things in their past that people unfairly judge them for, but clearly there were noble reasons behind each. Hers is a little harder to see than his, but yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. And so I'm genuinely excited to keep going with that this week. But I'm now going to dive into Insatiable. I'm going to quickly jump into my buddy reads and do those first, but then it's all this. And then if I finish this today, we're diving throwing things around. We're diving into this one. So yes, definitely going to be working on these today. This takes first priority. This is second priority. Hi guys. So it's been a while. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, and I've read all of Insatiable by Helen Hart. Now, this one, I love how this wraps up, and I feel like this really concludes most of the saga. We are going to get another trilogy, but that's going to follow the parents of the Steel children. So I think that's going to be a really, really interesting story and an interesting read. So I am still interested in the prequel series, the prequel trilogy, as we'll call it. But they're calling it, she's going to call it books 13, 14, and 15. So the parents' behavior within the series doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'm really excited to like go back and get their perspective and understand the whole thing a little bit more. But this is book 12 in a series, so there's not much I can really tell you other than it's steamy. Bryce and Marjorie have really great on-page chemistry, and this trilogy was hinted at for quite a while within the series. I want to say they pop up within the second trilogy. Yeah, so they pop up as a potential in book like 4 or 5, and their story starts in book 10, because for each of the Steel children, it's like a little trilogy. So this concludes Marjorie's trilogy, and it was really well done. I really liked it. The ending was a little anticlimactic for me compared to some of the other books in the series. So I don't know how I feel about that. I have a feeling she's going to play with a lot of these characters for quite a long time. So, again, these are typically between 3 and 4 stars. The Marjorie trilogy has been closer to 4 stars. There's still some things in the writing that are a little bit dated and I don't really love, if I'm honest. But These are always a big giant soap opera, and you never really, it's all really far-fetched, but I know going into it that that's what I'm getting. And I really like the things that are dealt with within the Marjorie and Bryce relationship. So it's really good. I really enjoyed it. This one's a 4-star, but yeah, that's Insatiable for you. So I did complete this. And like I said, it's about 3, so it's a while before my husband would even be home. So I am going to dig into Big Bad Cowboy. I have not done my buddy read pages yet for today, so I need to quickly do those. But other than that, I will be reading Big Bad Cowboy this evening. Maybe I'll get it all done today. We will see. It's about 350 pages, just shy. So we'll see how far I get. I would love to get at least 200 pages in, which would put me there-ish. If I can get that far today, I would be great with that, but I would really love to finish, because that would make 3 complete books that I've read, a book I've DNF'd, a book I put down because I was enjoying it too much and didn't want to rush, and then a book that I finished yesterday. So that puts me in a really good spot for just like Contemporaryathon books, not any mangas. And then tomorrow I can focus a lot on Girl Gone Viral, which is the e-arc that I had dropped this week. And I really want to get to it so bad if I can, just because I'm so excited to read it. I love Alicia Rye's writing, and I really just love this series. The first one was The Right Swipe, and it's just got very empowered women, and I'm just here for it. So I really want to get to that, and I want that to be my focus tomorrow. So this is the goal for the rest of today, plus my buddy read pages. Like I said, it's about 3. I'm going to go downstairs. I've already had lunch, but I'm going to go get me a little snack and a fresh drink and get into reading. Hi guys, welcome to day 3. This is my day at work. I'm probably not going to do too many clips here, obviously, because I'm on my phone again, but I wanted to check in with you. I did get 250 pages of Big Bad Cowboy read last night. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's one of those things where there's like a role play of Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf going on within the novel. It's really funny because it's definitely this like enemies to lovers, and like they had a hookup at a like Halloween party where he had a Big Bad Wolf mask on and she was dressed as Little Red Riding Hood. That's where the role play comes in. But they like go hook up in a shed out back because, you know, it's a cowboy romance. And from there they find out that they're not only neighbors who hate each other because his cows keep escaping into her property, and so it puts her behind and makes her late, but they're also competing business-wise. And so they've been tasked to work on a certain project together, and so they have to interact with each other. So they're falling in love now, enemies to lovers style in real life, but there's this big secret that he's the Big Bad Wolf. He knows she's Little Red Riding Hood, but because of his mask, she doesn't know it's him. And she keeps getting glimpses, like, as they interact that remind her of her Big Bad Wolf, but she still hasn't put it together. So I've got about 100 pages left in this, and then I'm jumping into Girl Gone Viral, and I am just excited. I'm really enjoying my reads, except for the one DNF, so I'm feeling good. Hello again, friends. So it is now the end of Wednesday. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what I read today. I did finish Big Bad Cowboy. This was really fun. It's pretty predictable, and I'm not going to say that it's not. This has the element of a child in the middle to help the trust between the couple, which is a trope that I really get along well with. So if you like that trope, definitely check this one out. It's a situation where our guy is fostering his nephew because his dad's in prison and the mom passed away. So that's kind of the situation there, but this was really cute. Solid 4. Not earth-shattering, maybe 3.5, but it was really cute. The smut was fantastic. It had a little bit of a BDSM element to it, which apparently is a kink that I'm into in literature. I don't know. But I really enjoyed this. Really thoroughly enjoyed this. And then the other thing I did is I've now started Girl Gone Viral, and I am loving this so far. So we are following one of the characters that we met in The Right Swipe, who is just starting to get back out there, But the problem is, the one guy that she wants, she can't have. Because it's her security guard. And this is a trope that I absolutely love. This one does have some great representation in our couple, but it's fantastic so far. I really like it. So our girl has some stuff going on in her past that causes some anxiety, and she tends to hermit down and hide out because of what happened. And the only one who knows all the details is her security guard, because the only other person who knew was her former husband. So we're dealing with a widow and the security guard, and dang, I really like this trope. I like it so much. I'm loving this book. It is written so well. Like, her mental state, and like, you see her talking to her therapist, you see her having an anxiety attack. So it could be triggering to people with anxiety. So far I've done okay. If that changes, I promise to let you know. But right now, I'm absolutely adoring everything about this. And the thing that made her go viral was basically like an invasion of privacy. So I'm really interested to see how Alicia Rai is going to handle this, because she tends to do that kind of stuff in a plot really, really well. So I'm really interested to see how she handles that. But I did come home to some book mail, so let's talk about that. My friends over at Hachette, specifically Forever Romance, sent me 2 of the novels that I'm super excited about this month. So we have Starting Over at Blueberry Creek by Annie Raines, and then Unforgiven by Jay Crownover. I love this Loveless Texas series. I am forever committed until it is finished. And this one, these are the Sweetwater Springs books, and I love the Sweetwater Springs books. So yes, I'm here and on board for both of these series and both of these books. I might do a reading vlog where I only read arcs next week, but I have another project in the works that I'm also going to be working on next week. So we'll see how that goes. But either way, I am definitely excited about these. These are out at the end of the month, so you will hear my thoughts before then. Hi friends, good morning. It is officially Thursday. So let's talk a little bit about my reading plans for the day. So the biggest thing I want to do today is finish Girl Gone Viral. I'm about 50% of the way through this and loving it. This is definitely a widow and the bodyguard situation, and I'm here for it. I'm loving every minute of this. This is so well done. So that's the biggest plan for today. The other plan for today is the 2 manga that I had picked out for Contemporaryathon, and that is Deep Scar and The Golden Sheep Volume 2, if I can show that one the correct way, because for whatever reason this one's flipped. I didn't notice that when I picked it up. That's gonna really throw me. But yeah, weird that it's flipped. But The Golden Sheep and Deep Scar, those are the 2 manga that I'm hoping to read today. I'm hoping to wrap up all of the Contemporaryathon challenges today, so I feel like Contemporaryathon's complete, so I can just focus on Manga Love Readathon for the second half of this vlog, so that if you're not so interested in the manga stuff, you're not stuck going through it because it's the entire Contemporaryathon vlog. So I will wrap up everything I've read during Contemporaryathon in this vlog. And the time step will be down below if you just want to skip to that because you don't want to see me meander around today. All right, so I had an Amazon package delivered. This is when it has 1 volume of manga that I wasn't able to get at the bookstore this week because my bookstore didn't have it in yet, but I really wanted to make sure I had it this week because I'm hoping to read it maybe today, who knows. And then there was another contemporary book that I really wanted to grab. So first up is the book, and we've got The Edge of Us by Jamie McGuire. This is the second, this is another one. This is a spin-off series to the Maddox Brothers series by Jamie McGuire. I really loved the first one, and so I'm really excited to dig in to the second one. This will be about Naomi and Zeke, so. And then the other thing we've got here is My Androgynous Boyfriend, Volume 1. This is a series about a woman, a career woman, who's dating a very, very pretty man, and it's about their relationship. And so I'm going to read the back to you. It says, Wako and her androgynous boyfriend don't exactly have the most traditional of relationships. She spends her days working hard in the world of publishing, while he spends his time obsessing over fashion and makeup, all with the goal of making himself beautiful just for her. This romantic slice of life story is about love, relationships, and breaking with tradition. So I'm just so excited, and the art looks absolutely stunning for this. So I am just beyond excited to be reading this, and I'm hoping to get it read soon. It's by Tomoko. And then Jamie Maguire is an author I end up really enjoying, even though she's got very like tragic heroes and, you know, they're dark and not always perfect. But I really like it. And this one's a chunker. I think this is her longest one that I've seen so far. And it's almost 500 pages. Like, she's thick for a contemporary. So yes. Anyways, I'm excited about both of these. They will be read soon. But yes, mostly this. There's a good chance I'll read this today. And then quick reading update. I'm now 60% into Girl Gone Viral, and I'm seriously just thoroughly enjoying this. We're starting to get to know Jazz's family more, and I am living for that so very much. We've met Jazz's grandfather, and Jazz has kind of been estranged from his family. I don't know the whole deal here. I don't know if it's related to his time as a soldier or not, but that's my guess at this point. So I'm excited to learn more about that, and I continue to love this. So yes, since these showed up, I thought I'd film this little clip. So yeah, we'll chat soon. So I just finished Girl Gone Viral by Alicia Rai, and I adored this so very much. This is another 5-star from me. I really like this modern love series that she's writing. I'm really excited. I'm pretty sure the next book is going to follow Gia, but in this one we're following Katrina, and she's a friend that we met in the previous book, and Katrina is Rhiannon of the previous book's roommate. She is a widow. She had married an older man. A lot of people thought it was for money, but she married him to escape her father, who was very abusive and just made her work for basic living necessities and was very abusive in psychological and even physical forms. So I'm putting a content warning in here for that. Her former husband, Hardeep, had security detail for her, and in that security detail was a man named Jazz. And Jazz is a returned veteran. He has a lot of PTSD that he's dealing with from the war, and there were some conflicts as well. He was involved in a case that ended up with one of his fellow soldiers getting court-martialed and sentenced to 25 years. But he's paroled at 5 years, and he's about to get everything kind of like expunged and like forgiven. And so they're both dealing with a lot. The viral part of this, Katrina, after going to therapy for her own anxiety and PTSD from the stuff with her dad, is just sitting in her favorite cafe enjoying a meal, and this man comes up and says, "There aren't many places to sit. Can I sit with you?" And so they sit and strike up a conversation. They talk about their animals and stuff. He goes to the restroom. She has to get up and go to the restroom for something herself, I think just to wash her hands or freshen up how she looks or something. And then she comes back. They wrap up their conversation. He asks her out on a date, and she says no. What they don't know when they're having that, what she at least doesn't know when they're having this conversation, is that there's this Instagrammer, this very popular Instagrammer, who is snapping photos and live reacting and spinning this like faded love story about the two of them while they're sitting there having this conversation, and it goes viral. And from there, she had some things in her past that triggered her anxiety. She was afraid of certain things happening to her again. And so Jazz has property in Northern California, and most of this is taking place in LA area, or Santa Barbara specifically. So they're normally in Santa Barbara, but she ends up feeling the need to like run away to not deal with it. And he's like, "Okay, I have property up north. Let me make sure we can go, and we'll go." So they end up whisking themselves away to a peach farm where he grew up. and his grandfather owns it, but his younger brother is the one who does a lot of the work there, and he has a house there. And so essentially they hide out in his house there, and this is a bodyguard kind of situation, bodyguard love story. It was so well done. I loved everything about this. It was so well represented in lots of ways. They do address the fact that the viral thing was an invasion of her privacy. I do wish that would have had a little bit more of a punch at the end. We were dealing with some other things as well at the end, and so that kind of got lost in translation. That would be my only real like critique of the book, but the way they handled their interactions together was really good and really realistic, because they've known each other for over 10 years. And so it's like, what if he doesn't have feelings for me? What if she doesn't have feelings for me? I'm his employer, I'm his employee, blah, 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 blah. Like, that whole dynamic was so amazing. I absolutely loved it. This is a book. It comes out in April. I highly suggest everybody check it out, especially if you liked The Right Swipe. And I have to be honest, I think I enjoyed this one more than The Right Swipe, but they're both supremely written. The sex scenes were amazing, and the tension was fantastic. And they didn't get together too early or too late in the novel, so it's really enjoyable throughout. And I really liked it, because you also see Jazz deal with some of this fallout with his family from his decisions after he got back from the war to work for Katrina's husband and some things like that. So it ended up being this really vast and stimulating read for me. It was more than just a fluffy romance, and I loved that. Alicia Rai is really good at giving you stories that are a little bit more than just a fluffy romance, and I loved that with all of my being. So while we're here, I'm going to wrap up the rest of the books that I've read. I haven't wrapped up the manga. I'll wrap those up briefly in another clip following this one. But this is essentially where the wrap up is going to start. I just wrapped up Girl Gone Viral, so let's dig into the others. So we've got Big Bad Cowboy, which I finished yesterday. This has a Big Bad Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood dynamic, and they meet at a Halloween party. They're both dressed up, and they have this wild, kinky hookup in a shed for all intents and purposes. And the next day, they find out they have to work together, and they already had some tension that way because of their competitors in the same work market. And so it's fun. There's also a child in the mix. The guy's name is Travis. Yeah. Travis's nephew is in the mix. His dad's in jail at the start of this book, and he's his caretaker. And so his name's Henry, and he's thrown in the mix to help with trust and stuff. That's a trope I really like. And this is definitely enemies to lovers, and it's really well done. I really enjoyed it. Solid 4. Then I finished a reread of Archer's Voice on the first day, and this is just one of my favorite all-time romances. We're dealing with a woman who suffered a trauma 6 months prior to the beginning of this novel, and she ends up kind of running away. She calls it in the beginning, but she ends up moving to a new place to start over, start fresh, where she doesn't feel pity when she talks to people about the previous circumstance. And on her first day there at the supermarket, she stumbles across a man named Archer. Archer cannot speak, and she had no idea about this when she first met him. And so they have this really awkward meet cute interaction in the grocery store parking lot, and they form a friendship that blooms into a relationship. This is really beautiful. It handles a lot of really deep and dark topics. This is one of my favorite romances ever, just because I really love the way this is written. And I listened to it mostly on audiobook, but I did read along as well. I really enjoyed that format for a reread, and I'm bumping this officially up from a 4.5 star to a 5 star. I can't stop thinking about it. I think about it constantly, and I love it. Next, we have Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. This YA contemporary centers around a radio show. Our main girl, her dad is a radio newscaster, essentially, kind of guy. But he does that in another state now. Her mom's about to get remarried. So everything's kind of up in flux. And through it all, she's forced to work on this radio show project with her childhood friend, that they had an interesting interaction in middle school that made everything weird. And so you see them deal with and address that. This is just really cute. Solid 4 stars, solid Emma Mills. My favorite Emma Mills is still Foolish Hearts. I think it always will be. It has too many elements that I just love and adore. But this was really good. I would definitely revisit this, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Next, we have Ghosted by Rosie Walsh, which I ended up DNFing. I read the first 50-ish pages. I was so bored. I was so annoyed with our main character that I just didn't care. I didn't want to keep going. And that's all it was. That's all it is. And so, yeah, that's the situation there. And I know a lot of people really love this, and it's just an unpopular opinion that I don't enjoy it, but I can't help how I feel, and I'm not going to force myself to read something I'm not enjoying. I've got way too many books to read to worry about. And then last but not least, for the books for Contemporaryathon is Insatiable by Helen Hart. This is book 12 in the Steele Brothers saga, so there's not much I can tell you other than this is the concluding book for Marjorie and Bryce's trilogy. There will be another trilogy that's more of a prequel trilogy that follows how the Steele's parents met, and I am interested and intrigued by that. This wrapped up really nicely. I really enjoyed it. There were a lot of things done well in here, but this is a solid 4. I enjoy it. Not perfect, but I enjoy it. All right, let's talk about Deep Scar now. So in Deep Scar, we're following a woman named Sophia. She's 22 and attending college for the first time. For some reason, her parents and her boyfriend, Luca, are super overly protective of her. I'm not sure. There seems to be this dark past that's mentioned throughout the manga, and so I'm assuming it has something to do with that. But so she's attending college for the first time. She's got this roommate named Veronica, who has a friend named Lorenzo. And it seems like Veronica and company want to kind of mess with Sophia a little bit. But Lorenzo keeps saying he's not a good guy, but at the same time, he's trying to protect her from the rest of them. So it's going to be really interesting. But there's lots of conflict in this first novel. Basically, Luca crosses a line, and so she is blocking Luca out and some things like that. And it's just really interesting. It's definitely a darker contemporary. It's going down that road. I am surprised it's only rated 13 plus. I have a feeling this is going to end up feeling a little more like a josei further down the road. Things are going to get a little more explicit. Then again, there's things like Paradise Kiss where it's teenagers making bad decisions. But with her age, I thought it could potentially fall into more of a josei kind of situation. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. But in this one, it's not going to be for everyone. The art is absolutely stunning. I mean, that's your opening panel there. And I don't like that it's flipped. So you can read this, because otherwise the manga binding would be on this side. So I don't like that it's flipped. It's flipping me out a lot. And so you would read it more like you would read a book rather than a manga, which is a little annoying. So if that's going to bother you, don't worry about picking this one up. Maybe pick it up digitally. But it is enjoyable. And I plan on doing a full manga review / chat about this. But I'm interested enough and intrigued enough to definitely pick up the next volume. So we'll see how things go as I dive further in. And then last but not least in this vlog, we are going to talk about The Golden Sheep. This is by Kaori Ozaki. This is volume 2. In volume 1, we see a group of friends who end up with a bullying conflict within the group of friends. And 2 of these people make a decision and they are separated from the other 2. And in this volume, we see the fallout from the decisions made in volume 1 in various different ways. In this particular volume, we follow Yushin a little more than the previous one. And this was a ride. It was half the size of the first volume, but I feel like it packed even more of a punch than volume 1. This, we see so much growth from the 2 characters involved directly in the bullying. We see the other two on the outskirts, but the two that were involved in the bullying, we are basically addressing them head on and why they feel the way they feel. And it's just so good. And this volume redeemed a lot of my wariness of the first volume. This is definitely, in this series, we're seeing teenagers making bad decisions all around. That's a theme that I'm reading in manga lately, but in particular in this series, we see massive consequences to certain decisions, and it's really good. I do recommend continuing on with the series. Like I say, volume 2 felt better to me than volume 1. I feel like it helped me better understand parts of volume 1. But in general, it's just so good. And I'm really looking forward to the next volume in the series. I think this is only a 3-volume series. So I don't know if the other one's going to be the double length and this was just the little stopgap, so it had to be 3. I'm not 100% sure. But this was fantastic. I absolutely adored it. And I do recommend continuing on, as I've said, just because a lot of the things that made me uncomfortable in volume 1, you don't see visibly in volume 2. There is a moment where Yushin does briefly cross a line. It stopped before it goes too far. The way it was handled, it wasn't really handled. That's the only part that made me feel a little uncomfy with this. Is Yushin was being aggressive, I guess is the easiest way to do it without spoilers. The person on the other side of it did get things to stop before Yushin went too far. But yeah, anyways, that's that. That's all I'm going to say. And that's it for this vlog. I know it's a long one. I hope you guys enjoy the 4 days of this week that were Contemporaryathon. From here, we are going to be diving into Manga Love Readathon. I know it's just kind of middle of the day on Thursday, but I'm going to take a break and take a beat. And I'm going to be diving into lots of manga over the next couple of days. I've also downloaded a bunch. Kodansha's having a digital sale, and our Thirsty Thursday pick for the month is on it. So I wanted to mention it. I will try to leave a link down below to the sale so that you guys can go and get Peach Mermaid for half price. So you'll basically get the whole series for less than $18 right now because they're each $6 a piece, and then tax. So you can get it for under $20, all 3 volumes, and that's a really good deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that linked down below for you so you guys can go and pick up Peach Mermaid and join us for Thirsty Thursday. That's one you can definitely read for Manga Love Readathon. I've only read the first volume, but I was in stitches over it. It was so funny. So again, thank you guys for watching this video. If you're new, welcome. Hi, I'm Shay. I would love it if you would subscribe and click the little bell so you know when I post new videos. This is YouTube and you guys know what to do.